able to phone from anywhere in the world is now taken for granted. And with 7 billion people on the planet, there are now almost 6 billion mobile phone subscribers. It all started with one engineer who believed nothing was impossible. In 1972, Marti Cooper was a man under pressure and also in charge of Motorola's car phone division.
Okay, right, bye.
Motorola's arch-rival, AT&T, had just invented a brand new system for managing phone calls from cars. Not only that, they had also asked the government for the monopoly of a huge part of the airways on which to run it.
Margaret, get the team together. Conference room. First thing in the morning. Thanks. Bye.
Marti had to ensure that Motorola remained just as competitive.
Marti Cooper was a very energetic, innovative, madcap kind of guy. The kind of person who could envision something and make it happen.
In fact, the right sort of man required when competing against a telecommunications giant such as AT&T.
All right, gentlemen, here's the situation.
In 1972, the only mobile phones were those phones in cars, and both Motorola and AT&T were trying to find ways to make them work better.
Marti Cooper is the kind of person who could see what we needed and then had the engineering wherewithal to make that idea into an actual physical working device.
Mobile car phones were huge, bulky pieces of hardware, connected by a cord to a big transmitter receiver in the boot. They were only mobile because of the car, and they did not even work very well. To just connect a call could sometimes take half an hour. This was because calls from cars were relayed through single powerful giant antennas that sent and received signals over huge areas and operated on only a few channels. Cooper recognized the new system AT&T had developed would control vastly more calls. To compete, he had to develop a similar rival network. Their idea was to use smaller antennas, but more of them, each operating on hundreds of frequencies they called a cellular network.
Call anyone, anywhere, and you don't...
It was a huge risk because there was a fortune at stake for Motorola.
The smaller the company, the more dangerous it is to take a chance because you don't have the money to back up what you need to do if you begin failing or faltering. A big company can afford to take a risk because it has the money to back up everything, even if it makes a false step. So this was a big thing for Motorola to do. If it didn't work, that could fatally hurt the company.
Right. Look, we have to convince the feds that we're players.
Marti Cooper was competing against a giant, and he was desperate for an idea that would give Motorola an edge. Something to prove that AT&T was not the only cellular network available. While watching a science fiction show on TV, Cooper spotted one character talking into a tiny, handheld, cordless communicator, and it gave him an incredible idea.
If they can do it on Star Trek, why can't we do it here? It made so much sense. Wouldn't it be great to have in your pocket a little thing that you could take out and call anyone you wanted to anytime, wherever you were?
It was a radical idea. If it worked, people wouldn't have to go where the phone was. It would just always be there. It was the answer Marti had been searching for. A portable, personal phone, run off the new cellular network.
A network is a very abstract thing, but a phone you hold in your hand, here is what I invented. We are a serious telephone company by virtue of this device. Here, look at it yourself.
While AT&T was still thinking about a better network for car phones, Marti was now way ahead of them.
Gentlemen, here's what we're gonna make. The Star Trek communicator.
Cooper had to convince his team about his futuristic idea. The mobile phone he envisioned would work off the new cellular network, similar to the car phones. As the caller moved from zone to zone, the call would automatically be passed on from one antenna's coverage area, or cell, to the next. The only issue was that a phone that small had yet to be built. Could it even be done? Cooper was hoping to take advantage of the newly invented microprocessor, a single, tiny electronic chip that did the same job as a number of car phone components, but requiring much less space. However, by March 1973, the Motorola team had a working prototype.
You dial the number, hit send, and you talk.
At the time, it was a technological miracle, and Cooper was not finished.
Marti Cooper had a brand sense of publicity in addition to everything else. Nothing that he did was low-key. He had all this very, very carefully planned.
On the 3rd of April 1973, Marti Cooper arranged a press conference and met a group of reporters at a phone booth.
Gentlemen, I brought you here to make a phone call on this first cellular telephone.
And his first call?
Hey, Joel. Marti Cooper from Motorola calling.
To his competitor at AT&T.
Yeah, I'm just calling to let you know that I've invented the world's first cellular telephone. Have a nice day.
So that's the kind of person he was. He loved the process. He loved the game. The first call he makes on his little phone, again, not so little, is to his competitor at AT&T to basically stick it to him. Hey, how you doing? I'm calling you on the very thing that you have not yet invented.
The press was astounded.
You're not going to believe this.
It was a life-changing day.
Freaking amazing. I got to go.
Marti Cooper said that was one of the most exhilarating moments in his life. And he knew that he changed the world the instant he made that successful call.
Do this to catch on. I think we'll be pretty popular, yes.
Within 2 decades, everyone had one. But now, the small mobile phone is more of a mobile computer with everything at the fingertips. Marti Cooper's big idea had truly changed the world.